Well, we have two lenses we're going to experiment with today. They're both wide angle. You know, I tend to go with the cheapest wide angle, or any lens really, the cheapest lens that'll get the job done. And I have two here that I've bought about 2 or 3 years ago, so it's not state of the art. They both fit the RF series cameras. I'm using the R8 right now to record this. And these are RF lenses. They were real reasonably priced. The first one's an RF 16 f2.8. So it works really good in low light. And it's a prime lens. You see how light and small it is. And I've used it on videos in the past, using it for video work. And then what happened there, I wanted a little bit more wider angle, and so I jumped into this RF 15 to 30, but you can see how much bigger it is. I mean, it just dwarfs that little lens there. But this is the RF 15 to 30, and it's an f4.5 to 6.3. So at the wide angle you have 15 versus 16, so it's a little bit more wider angle. And I'll go outside and we'll demonstrate that. But what this gives you, of course, is the zoom. And you can get up to 30 millimeters with it. You can enlarge the image twice as much with this one. But it's a darker lens, so it takes more light. So indoors, in low light situations, you're going to have more noise in your video. But these modern cameras do so well at high ISO settings for lower light that this works perfectly fine. Well, there's another thing that this lens adds, and very critical. It's image stabilization. You don't have that with this lens. So if you're doing video work, you're stuck with using the electronic image stabilization on the camera. And that can present some problems. Say if you're doing a shot of a flower that's waving in the wind, it's going to stay with that flower, and you'll notice the background start to go back and forth. That's a disadvantage. Image stabilization in the camera does work well, except for close-up situations like that. Whereas this one, if you use the optical stabilization built into the lens, you won't have that problem. But you can see it's just so much heavier and bulky. And I like to use these on a gimbal for the extra stability. So I can get by with this, if I need to, on the gimbal, or if you're doing video on a tripod, no problem. And that's what we're going to do today, since I'm guessing that 90% of my viewers of this video will not have a gimbal. We're going to try this without the gimbal today. We'll do some handheld vlogging style shots and that sort of thing. But we'll compare these two. There's plenty of videos out there comparing the image quality, and they're going to be really similar. They're going to be a little softer in the corners, but not terrible soft. That's for still images. Video, you'd never see it. One other thing, this zoom lens does work with the camera to reduce focus breathing. In other words, when it focuses on something close and then you want to shift the camera to focus on something far away, you won't have a shift in the image size. Whereas this one, you will have a shift in the image size. That is an advantage, again, to the zoom lens. Well, what do these things cost? Now this is 2 or 3 years ago, and costs have gone up somewhat on some of these lenses. I think I paid $160 used for this RF 16, and you could probably get one for about that now, since it's been out a few years. This zoom lens is a little harder to find. I paid $250, and it was a refurbished one from Canon themselves. I think you might be able to pick one up for in the $300 range, $350. If you went to the Canon site and got a new refurbished one, it might run $4.5. So it is a little more expensive, but you do get the zoom. If you don't mind the extra bulk, it's a good lens. But not many people are using it, I'll tell you that. I don't see many reviews on it lately. They're all gone to other wide-angle lenses for whatever reason. Guess it's not good enough for them. But we'll take it outside and we'll just see what they do. Okay, this is the RF 16 f2.8, running it at f8 at 250th of a second. I'm in the shade, that's why the background's getting all blown out. But we'll go into the sunshine here with it. I'm holding it out. I can't hold this camera out, even though it's a real light combo. I can't just hold it out there for 10 minutes at a time. But we'll walk with it. I'm not using any stabilization on it right now. So we'll just see how steady it is. We'll go into the sunshine here. Then we'll switch it to the RF 15. Now I'm going to hit some full sun. See what it takes to... Yeah, it's going to be hot and humid here in Kansas today. I can see this camera bouncing a little bit. But this is what it does, arm's length away. I should probably have a little tripod sticking in the bottom of this camera to give me support. I'm just kind of holding it by the, kind of the grip there. You know, it's doable. Like I say, this isn't any stabilization. I think I'll do one here with stabilization, give you an idea. You can see that this is I zoomed in a little bit. This is the first stage of image stabilization. And you can see how the it's more stabilized, but it's a little closer. So let's slip on the RF 15 and just see what it does. You can hear the cicadas in the background there. This is noon. Okay, here we got the RF 15 to 30 at the 15 millimeter setting. No electronic stabilization, but the optical on the lens is turned on. We'll see how it does. And we're hitting the shady part. Say it's about noon, about the most terrible lighting you can get right now. Train in the background, I don't know if you heard that. It's about a mile away. Slight breeze, keep me cool. It's probably only about 90 right now. Maybe not quite. Okay, you can see the camera shaking, but it's probably fairly stable. Okay, let's put the electronic stabilization on and see what happens. Okay, here's the first step, electronic stabilization. See if it improved it any. Probably did. You know, it's not a bad combination, probably going 15 millimeter here with electronic. I still get the distance I need. So we'll see how this does. Now this test is going to be a little more difficult. We're going to try it here. Right now I got it focused in on this board right here. When it switched focus on me. Let's go back to that. We're going to try the focus compensation. Then we're going to go back to the building and see if you saw any focus change, but the image size change. Now I'm back on that diagonal post, back to the building, Now on the post. Now on the building. See how the image just really stayed steady there, and it just had a nice focus shift from one to the other. Let's put on the RF16 and see how it does. Okay, now I have the RF16 on it, and you can see the image might have a little bit closer up here. Got it focused in on the diagonal post there. Let's switch it to the building. Do you see how it shifted in image size when I did this? You see it brought it forward. There it went back. The tree on the left got smaller, and here it brought it forward. Shifts fast enough, and it's dead silent in doing it, but that's a little bit annoying. Now in practical use, it's not much of an issue unless you're focusing like what I'm doing here, and that's fairly rare. But that is an issue that you might want to be aware of. Well, we're going to make this fairly short video here because I don't want to spend a lot of time out here doing it. But you know, you can kind of make up your own mind. Is the zoom worth $150 more? If you don't mind the bulk of it, I would say yes, it is. If you absolutely need a stop and a half, a lower light capability, get the RF16. I personally am going to keep both of them. I think they're both a bargain. They do an excellent job. Focus is fast, silent on either one of them. I really don't have very many complaints. I like the lightweight with my gimbal with just the RF16. You can see on my channel I got plenty of videos where I use nothing but the RF16, even running it wide open at f2.8 just to see, for the heck of it, see what it would do. And it might surprise you. You can always, and when I'm shooting 4K 60, the higher shutter speeds doesn't really matter. Here I'm just shooting HD 30, and I kicked the shutter speed up to 2/50th. Now I've got it down to 60th, but you know, if you're doing HD or 4K 60 for the most image quality, my experience is you can kick the shutter speed, not have to worry about putting a filter on it. The only time you get into trouble is if you're doing maybe moving water, like a waterfalls or something like that. You might want to slow up the shutter speed to give it a little more smoother effect. But you know, you can cheat a little bit on this stuff. But there it is. I just wanted to do a short video. Check my other videos out. If you like content like this, please subscribe and like it. This is the end of the video, and I'll probably only get about 15% of the viewers watching at this point. But I decided I can do more videos and kind of repeat earlier videos without a problem, because most of my viewers are new viewers. So I would suggest looking back at my old stuff. I got travel videos, I got lens reviews, some history stuff. Something might interest you, maybe not, but take a look. Thanks.